Imagine a city as bustling as Delhi, where the notion of a ghastly crime seems unfathomable, despite its vastness. That was the reality until the shocking Aftab Shraddha murder case disrupted the order of things. This was a city where the most stimulating event was the yearly trade fair, where the only sound punctuating the night was the occasional call of a nocturnal bird, where children played freely in the parks until dusk. It was a place where neighbors trusted each other implicitly. It was a city of vibrancy and safety until one day it changed. In the pulsating heart of this bustling city lived Shraddha, a woman of dignity known for her contagious laughter and a heart as expansive as Delhi itself. A cherished professor, a respected neighbor, and an esteemed member of the community, Shraddha was the epitome of Delhi's vibrant spirit. Her laughter reverberated through the neighborhoods and her compassion affected everyone she encountered. But one ill-fated day, the laughter ceased. The reverberation faded, replaced by a chilling silence that draped over the city like a pall. The unimaginable had happened. Shraddha was found murdered in her own residence, a place where she had welcomed many with open arms. The news circulated rapidly, leaving the city in a state of consternation and denial. The streets that once resonated with the laughter of children were now filled with murmurs of dread and terror. Delhi's vibrant facade was broken, replaced by an ominous cloud of uncertainty. A crime so horrific in a city so lively was beyond comprehension. The vibrancy of the city was brutally disrupted, replaced with a gnawing fear that gripped the hearts of its residents. This was no longer the city where neighbors trusted each other. This was a city concealing a monstrous secret. In a city as lively as Delhi, who could commit such a horrendous act? With the city of Delhi in shock, the local police force was under immense pressure to crack the case. This was not just another investigation, it was a race against time, a desperate hunt for justice that had the entire city holding its breath. The initial phases of the investigation were fraught with challenges. The crime scene, a quiet suburban apartment, was a chilling tableau of violence. Key pieces of evidence were carefully collected. Among them were a knife with dried blood, a cryptic note, and a set of unknown fingerprints on the fridge. Each piece of evidence was like a puzzle, waiting to be pieced together to reveal a terrifying picture. Leads were rare to find. The detectives followed every trail, every murmured clue, but kept hitting dead ends. The suspect pool was a vast ocean of possibilities. Everyone from the delivery boy to the housekeeper fell under suspicion, but none fit the profile. The lack of a clear motive made the task even more intimidating. Why would anyone want to harm Shraddha, a cherished member of the society, known for her benevolence and magnanimity? The detectives worked relentlessly, their days blurring into nights. They interviewed scores of residents, cross-checked alibis, and scrutinized every fragment of evidence. They were resolute to bring the offender to justice, but the journey to the truth was proving to be a twisting, treacherous path. Just when hope seemed to be fading, a breakthrough in the case sent shockwaves through the Delhi community. It was a chilling Tuesday evening when the Delhi police announced they had found a new piece of evidence. A small blood-stained handkerchief, overlooked in the initial investigation, was discovered near the crime scene. The handkerchief was not just any handkerchief, it was monogrammed, a detail that gave the investigators a new lead. The letters, stitched into the corner, were the initials of a local Delhi resident, a person named Aftab, who had so far remained off the radar. The Delhi community was stunned. Whispers filled the local grocery stores, cafes, and parks. Aftab's name was on everyone's lips, yet no one could believe it. This was someone they knew, someone they had shared stories and laughter with. The shock was palpable, the disbelief profound. Meanwhile, the Delhi police were quick to act. They arrested Aftab, who, under intense questioning, broke down and confessed to the crime. The confession was a chilling account of a calculated act, devoid of remorse. It was a harsh reminder that even in the most close-knit communities, like Delhi, dark secrets could lurk beneath the surface. The news of Aftab's arrest sent ripples through the Delhi community, turning the shock into a mix of relief and horror. The Aftab Shraddha murder case, touted as Delhi's trial of the century, had commenced, and the entire city held its breath in anticipation of the impending justice. It was a tableau of escalating drama and tangible apprehension, where each uttered word bore the heaviness of a life teetering on the edge. The case presented by the prosecution was persuasive, constructed on a substantial pile of incriminating evidence. Forensic analysis, accounts of witnesses, CCTV recordings, all pointed a finger towards the defendant. The case put forth by the police was lucid and succinct, a bone-chilling image of a ruthless crime. Conversely, the defense team's contentions were a desperate scramble to instill uncertainty where there was hardly any room for doubt. They contested the credibility of the evidence, underscored the absence of direct eyewitnesses, and even suggested a conspiracy to implicate their client. But the defense was facing an uphill task, with the prosecution's case appearing almost impregnable. Then came the moment Delhi had been holding its breath for: the verdict. As the gavel-wielding judge began to speak, a silence descended upon the courtroom. The air was dense with expectation and anxiety. Each word emerging from the judge's lips seemed to reverberate in the quiet room. The verdict: guilty. A shared exhale of relief echoed through the courthouse. The monster had been brought to book. Delhi could finally exhale in relief. But the Aftab Shraddha murder trial was more than merely a pursuit of justice. It mirrored a society wrestling with its own darkness, striving to preserve the sacredness of existence in the wake of a grotesque crime. It served as a harsh reminder that behind every crime, there is a victim, a family, a community in pain. Ultimately, justice prevailed, but the wounds inflicted by the crime would never completely disappear. The echoes of the Aftab Shraddha murder trial would resonate through Delhi for many years, a grim reminder of the shadow that once loomed over its residents. In the aftermath of the trial, Delhi grappled to understand the dreadful incidents. The city's usual bustling nature was eerily replaced with a profound quiet. The formerly vibrant markets, the busy streets, all now resonated with a mournful cast. The innocence of this populous city had been fragmented, leaving behind a specter of its prior self. The Aftab Shraddha murder case had deeply influenced the city's inhabitants. Parents clutched their children tighter, communities became more watchful, and an air of anxiety persisted. Delhi's essence had been permanently damaged, and a new way of life was reluctantly adopted. The Aftab Shraddha murder case had not just claimed a life, it had robbed Delhi of a piece of its vibrant spirit. As the years rolled on after the trial, the case turned into a cautionary story, a raw warning to never underestimate the importance of security. It ignited debates about the need for more stringent safety measures, leading to the rise in community watch initiatives and a bolstered police force across Delhi. The case's ramifications extended far and wide, inciting changes that were noticeable beyond the city's boundaries. Regarding the case, it remains concluded with the convicted party serving their time. Nevertheless, the echoes of this brutal crime resonate still, with occasional news updates keeping the memory glaringly alive. Delhi may have progressed in many aspects, but the wounds left behind are still visible, a mute testament to the calamity once unfurled here. The Aftab Shraddha murder case, a chilling reminder of the menace that can hide even in the most bustling of cities.